Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our communication in context. We are already at our finals week, and to start off our finals week, uh, we will start at 13th week or week 13. And our topic for week 13 is about principles of speech delivery. So for week 13, we will identify the characteristics of good speech delivery. We will also evaluate a speech and successfully try to deliver a speech. So let's proceed to our discussion. So we have speaking is a good delivery. Oh, I mean, uh, speaking, public speaking is very important. Uh, if you are a student or you are a young professional, or even though um, you are at some point uh, of a career in your life. So for public speaking, we have types of speech. We have the informative, entertainment, and persuasive. So, as a student of public speaking, you should know that public speaking is not simply reading your speech or talking about your topic. It requires making connections with your audience and presenting yourself formally to the public. We have type of speeches. So again, we have informative, entertainment, and persuasive. Let's discuss informative. For informative, it provides the audience with a clear understanding of a concept or idea. And the lectures of your teachers are the best example of this type. For entertainment, it amuses the audience, and the humor speeches of comedians and performers are the best examples of this type as well. For persuasive, it seeks to provide the audience with favorable or acceptable ideas that can influence their own ideas and discussions. And usually, the campaign of speeches of the running candidates for government posts are the best example of this type. So we have different types of speech according to delivery. So kindly check out your handouts or PDF files. So for the types of speech according to delivery, we have extemporaneous, impromptu, manuscript, and memorize. So for extemporaneous, it is speaking with limited preparation, guided by notes or outlines, and it is the most popular type. So this is, for example, when you are assigned to report in a topic in a class, or you are also running for a position, or you are a candidate for a student government, and you have to deliver a campaign speech. So these are extemporaneous speech. And the advantages of this is it helps you look confident and engages the audience. And the disadvantage may not have adequate time to plan, organize, and rehearse. So for delivering an extemporaneous tips speech, we have tips here. You have to create an outline, organize your points logically, use facts and real life experiences as your examples, manage your time well, and of course rehearse all the time. Another type of speech according to delivery is impromptu. So for impromptu speech, we have the description of it, or it is speaking without advanced preparation, unrehearsed speech, and spoken conversationally. So usually, impromptu speech happens on the first day of work or in class during an interview. And also, if you have to say a few words in an event and you are unaware of it. So those are impromptu speech, and the advantages is spontaneous or natural speaking and more focused and brief. And the disadvantages is the tendency to be disorganized and lacks connection with the audience, nerve-wracking for an inexperienced speakers and beginners. So if you are going to deliver an impromptu speech, um, the tips that we have here is once you're requested to say something, pause for a moment. So, and state your main point briefly to deliver it at a pace that the audience to follow, and also end by saying thank you. So we also have here another type of speech to deliver. We have manuscript. For manuscript, it is speaking with advanced preparation. It is planned and rehearsed speech and reading aloud a written message. This usually happens when you are a newscaster and also a host. Sorry for that. Because you have a teleprompter. You are also, it usually also happens when you are presenting legal proceedings and verdict in a court, and also reading rules and criteria in a contest. The advantages for this one is the exact repetition of written words, and also it is a guided speech. The disadvantage is it is boring, uninteresting presentation, and lacks audience rapport or connection. So if you're going to deliver a manuscript speech, you have to rehearse the speech over and over again until you sound natural, and also observe accomplished news anchors and note how conversational they sound when they deliver the news. And the last type of speech is memorized, and this is speaking with advanced preparation as well, and planned and rehearsed speech, and reciting a written message word for word from memory. So this usually happens when you perform in a stage play, or you deliver a declamation or rhetorical or literary piece, and when an actor in a scene performs a script from memory. The advantages for this one is the exact repetition of words from memory, and also free to move around the stage. Disadvantages, the speakers might end up speaking in a monotone pattern. Alternatively, he must take a fast pace, and when the speaker cannot control his stage fright, he might have difficulty remembering his memorized speech. And for tips for memorized speech is rehearse the speech over and over again until you sound natural and feel confident as well. And observe how actors perform the script in a theater, television, or movie scenes. So we have here speech delivery for different situations. So usually, there are a few situations where our delivery skill or your delivery skill will be simultaneously challenged and honed. And as a public speaker, you need to be ready to deal with the most common challenges in different speaking environments. So these are the challenges. We have speaking to a specific audience size. Um, Also, for this one, so the advantages for this one or the audience size depends on the venue size. Advantages is, of course, you can determine your approach with your audience. And the disadvantage is you may speak up in a monotone pattern, and you may not control your stage fright as well because of the audience size. So tips against for this one is, of course, rehearse and be confident. Another that is speaking in an open air venue or outside building. So for this one, usually it happens in open courts or grounds, football fields, farms, and so on and so forth. And you will feel more relaxed due to the atmosphere in the venue. But the disadvantage is there's a lot of communication barriers such as noise, inattentive audience, discomfort, challenging weather, and possible absence of technology for audiovisual equipment. But there are more but in case you are going to speak in an open air venue or an outside building, uh, here are some tips that you could consider. So first, check the venue prior to your speaking engagement and ask the organizers for the availability of the equipment, and challenge yourself on how you can get and maintain the attention of your audience as well. Another speech delivery for a different situation is we have here speaking in different venues. So of course it vary according to the size, such as classroom meeting and so on and so forth. So advantages of this one is you will be exposed to different venues, and of course, uh, it will be your experience also. Disadvantage is, of course, you will make big adjustments in terms of your nonverbal cues, volume, voice, body language, facial expression, and so on. So tips for this one is check the venue days before schedule speech and arrive hours earlier in the venue so you can determine the adjustments to make. For large venues, speak more slowly. Use pauses frequently to highlight the most important ideas of your speech and make use of your facial expressions and gestures. And when you use visual aids of shots, videos, PowerPoint presentations, so make sure that they are visible. And another one that we have is speaking with microphones. So its the main function is to increase the volume of your voice, not to clarify the pronunciation and enunciation of words. Advantages of this one is with a microphone, you can easily get the attention of your audience because of the loudness of the voice. But the disadvantage is using a microphone can be challenging because there's a tendency to underuse or overuse it. So tips for this one, make sure you check your microphone if it functions well and check your voice in the microphone to see whether you are audible enough. And in a small venue, you may not use a microphone, but you need to manage your voice volume as well. So those are the speech delivery for different situations. Also, we have a last situation, which is speaking with a podium or lectern. So for this one, uh, you are speaking in a podium with a reading desk with a stand and slanted top. So usually these are best for extemporaneous and manuscript speeches because you can hide your nervousness and stage fright. But the disadvantage is um, you may not be able to express your nonverbal cues very well. And for the tips is always stand straight because good posture exudes confidence and avoid gripping the edge of the podium with both hands and avoid hiding uh, your hands behind the podium. So whatever speaking situation you are in, the most important thing is you master your speech. You can only do this by constantly carrying out the right practices and rehearsal. So we have here tools for effective speech. So take note of the following. Here are the tools for effective speech. Show how they approach their audience. It might be formal, informal, personal, conversational, intimate, among others. Also, how they connect with their audience. Are they using their eye contact, body movements, or facial expressions? Usually, these are nonverbal cues. And how they present themselves, how they look, stand, walk, use nonverbal cues, act on off the stage, and how they use their voice in terms of volume, such as the loudness or softness, pitch, highness or lowness, rate or speed, pause to show emphasis and strengthen to clarify the message. So, and pronunciation. So, the items enumerated are the tools that can help you develop your speech. So, most likely, just practice in front of a mirror and observe your own delivery with these tools in mind. Alternatively, you can practice in front of your family, friends, classmates, or those who have already done public speaking. You can ask for their feedback or seek advice from them. Explore which tools work best for you and develop a habit of effective delivery to enhance your public speaking skill. And also keep practicing and engaging yourself in speaking situations. Remember, you already have the public speaking skill, but you will only improve you speak in public constantly. So we have more tips for effective speech delivery. We have here use conversational style more often, and it should be natural and Of course, audience members do not like the speaker to sound unnatural or exaggerated. Look your audience member in the eye, so they will feel that they are part of your speech. Eye contact should be maintained to keep the attention of your audience and enhance your delivery. And also remember to adjust your volume to the size of the audience and venue when addressing a large audience. Modulate your voice in such a way that you speak loudly without sounding like shouting or yelling. Vary your rate or speed to keep your audience interested and to avoid a monotone pattern. The audience might get bored if you speak very slowly, and they might get confused if you speak very fast as well. Hence, your rate should be at an appropriate speed. Also, master your voice and find your pitch level. It may be high or low. If you have a high pitch level, modulate or slightly move it down. If you have a low pitch level, modulate or slightly move it up. Your performance will definitely be affected if you do not modulate. And use pauses when you emphasize the most important words, phrases, or sentences. Your pauses should not last for 3 seconds. Otherwise, it will result in dead air or a moment of awkward silence as well. And pronounce and enunciate words correctly. You will confuse the audience if you mispronounce words, and it could distract them and affect your credibility. Avoid fillers or expression that substitute actual words in your speech because these words are distracting. Examples of fillers are like and To reduce the use of these fillers, detect the instances when you use them. Do you generally use fillers after each sentence between different ideas or whenever you make transitions? Then, instead of using them, the next time you deliver a speech, simply stop and pause. Start your speech by standing straight and balancing your weight. This will give a positive first impression. Also, use precise movements, avoid distracting mannerisms like swaying, backing and forth, leaning on podium, licking or biting your lips, playing with your wristwatch or jewelry, scratching parts of your body, frowning on others. Observe your mannerisms and learn how to avoid them when speaking in public. And avoid also having a poker face or highly animated face because this facial expression appear distracted and may be even annoying. Instead, follow the most highly suggested tip such as smile. And also dress properly and appropriately. Make sure not to overdress as this may distract your audience. And of course, wearing the proper attire will make you look more confident and professional as well. And observe proper ethics by coming prepared, being honest with your words, being polite, avoiding offensive words, and backbiting or talking negative things about other people or copying someone's work without proper documentation. So, of course, last is breathe in and out to relax before your speech. Um, Most importantly, also have fun. So these are for week 13 topic. So for references, we have Oral Communication in Context, a text for senior high school by Apolonio Joshua, and also Teacher's Manual for Oral Communication in Context for senior high school from DepEd. So for your activity for week 13, I will require you to watch any of the videos from the given links. So we have 2 links, but I will just require you to only watch one and evaluate the speaker and complete the following table with your assessment. So in your handouts or PDF files, we had a table. So kindly complete it. So no need to answer activity 2 for week 13. So once again, for week 13, we have identified the characteristics of good speech delivery, evaluate the speech, and also successfully deliver a speech. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. So before ending the lesson, I would like to say thank you and share a Bible verse from the book of Mark, chapter 9, verse 23. Said Jesus, everything is possible for one who believes. So thank you so much once again, and God bless.